Welcome back to another episode of the Bamboo Season Podcast. I'm your host, Sober Wellness Coach Dorian Wormsley, the podcast where you will hear real stories from real people sharing their life experiences, their expertise to help you on your journey of growth and transformation. Life's not hard. Life is hard, and hopefully hearing these stories help you feel like you're not alone. My guest today is a licensed clinical social worker, a mother, a friend of mine, an amazing human being. I bring you Tish on tour, aka Tish Morgan. Hola, Tish.
Hey.
I am phenomenal. I feel good. Today's been great.
That's good.
Yeah, and you know, I know you're a licensed clinical social worker.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned now you're the third one I've had on my, and they correct me when I say therapist. Like, nah, licensed clinical social worker.
Yes.
And now I understand the difference. Outside of the title and what you do, I want to know, how are you feeling today? And don't give me a clinical social worker answer.
You know, I feel good. And that's an honest answer. I, recently had a surgery. So I feel good. I feel mobile and starting to get back to normal. So even though good is cliche, I really do feel good right now.
And what kind of surgery did you have?
So I had a breast reduction.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So lived with large breasts my whole life, and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yep.
So as I was going through this, I had a mammogram and had like a lump in my breast, and that's what really like prompted that surgery.
Oh, really?
And I went through the whole process. Thank God it was benign, but I was like, yeah, they can have these now. If they're gonna kill me, I don't want them.
Wow. And how do you feel now after the surgery? Do you feel lighter? Does your back feel better? Has that came in yet, that feeling?
It's still kind of surreal because I feel still very compressed. So
Okay.
I'm getting there. I did have some emotional moments where I put on clothes and I learned some of my shirts were not crop tops. They were regular shirts. So, but I've been able to sleep better.
Yeah.
That's the most important part because it was affecting my sleep, and I'm getting good sleep. I'm getting full night sleep. So
Nice. Now you're a clinical social worker, but we initially met maybe 2 years now ago.
yeah.
Shout out to Tracy. Hope you're doing well. She had an event at a yoga studio. That's where I met you. You guys are sorority sisters?
Yeah, she's my sorority sister, member of Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Hey,
they
what's
don't
the
make
sign?
a chapter. What's the
They have a sign or anything? They do?
It's the pinky.
Hey, always the one, never the two.
Always. I mean,
it's I love I don't want to call it cult, but the feel of Black sororities.
yeah, the community.
Yeah, the community. There you go. Like I when you run across a Delta or AKA, or they don't play about it. They love their people. Same thing with the Alphas, the Kappas, and
Yeah.
I don't know all the names, but
Absolutely. Like, and it doesn't matter which one you're part of. If I see you, I'm going to acknowledge you.
Yeah.
Or if you need something, I got you. It's such a beautiful experience. One time I was in Memphis going home, and it was a storm and everything. And it was just crazy trying to get a rental car. And I'm not even sure what organization this person was in, but we made that eye contact, and it was like, they mouthed to me like, I got you. I got a car. I was one of the few people that got a car to drive home. So that was great. That community looking out for each other.
I know some of the fraternities, they do like the branding.
Yeah.
Do the sororities do that too?
Not my sorority.
But any in general that you know of?
There are some. I have some
Really?
friends that are
I didn't know
Zetas, and they've gotten a brand before, but
Oh wow.
it's not typical of most females.
Okay.
So
Now you mentioned something just now. I don't know.
I was talking about community.
Community, but I'm going back to where you're from. So you're from Mississippi.
Yep.
Where in
Born and
Mississippi?
raised, Oxford, Mississippi. So if you know anything about college football, Ole Miss or the University of Mississippi. So we're going to hotty-toddy really quickly.
Okay.
And most people know Eli Manning or DK Metcalf. They've come out of school there. DK is actually from Oxford.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yep.
I know Mannings were from the South. I don't know. I thought Louisiana.
They are from Louisiana.
Oh, but they went to college.
They went to college at Ole Miss. So Archie went to Ole Miss, and Eli went to Ole Miss, and Peyton went to Tennessee.
Ah. Ole Miss, there was a gentleman there. I used to like watching him on basketball. His name was Marshall something. He was a white dude playing basketball, and he was just like very, I don't know. I like this energy.
He was kind of like a Paul Wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like him. It was like 04,
Uh,
05 era.
yeah,
Or maybe Marshall Henderson might have been his name.
his name was Marshall, but he was a character.
Yeah, and
I liked him.
Me too. Now, so you grew up in Oxford, Mississippi. Is that near the Sinners movie? Like where that was at?
So the Centers was based in the Delta, and so maybe an hour southwest of where I'm from.
Okay.
So
It's not too far.
yeah, we kind of collectively call it the Delta, but they were in like Clarksdale.
So born and raised in Mississippi, what was your childhood growing up like there?
Man, I tell people all the time that I grew up in the best place in America.
Really?
And people were like, Mississippi. And I was like, yes, Oxford in particular. I can't speak for everywhere else, but it was just an amazing place to be a kid, and the experiences that we were able to have and just be free to be kids. And we had an amazing education system. So shout out to the Oxford School District, also the Lafayette County School District, but Oxford, some of the most amazing schools, they're always top ranked. We have some great teachers. So.
Interesting. And you mentioned, or you told me that you had your son at 17.
17. I was a teen mom.
Were you in high school or already out?
That was my senior year.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did your family respond to that?
It was a shock. I mean, they weren't happy, but you know what? They were supportive. And without them, because I mean, I was a track athlete. I was a star track athlete. I was a cheerleader. I was all these things. And, you know, giving that up. But my family supported me. I started back running afterwards. And having that family was just, I think that was going to make or break. Right. And my family was like, no, you're going to make it. So everybody rallied around me and rallied around my son. And here I am.
How old's your son now?
23.
What? Wow, you have a grown son.
Yes.
Wow. Is he here in Vegas?
He is here in Vegas. He just had his golden birthday. His Jordan golden birthday.
Yeah. When's his birthday?
September 23rd.
Okay, not too long ago. All right. What'd you guys do?
So I was away with you on our...
Gateway.
At Gateway, yeah. So we ended up having cake like later.
Okay.
So.
Wow. What does he do?
He's currently in school, and then he's working over at Resorts World.
Good for him. And how upbringing, when you were raising him, were you alone? Was his father involved? How was that?
So his father was involved, but his father was military. So we were in different places, but at 5, I moved here. When he turned 5, I moved to Las Vegas, and he stayed with my mom and my dad for a year. And so they helped raise him for that year, and then he moved out here with me.
Was it hard?
Which part? The move or the leaving him?
Both. We'll go into the leaving him. I'm sure it's got to be hard. He's 5. He's like a little man at that point, right? Like he knows how to talk, walk, you know how to share emotion and all that. So I'm sure that was
difficult to leave him, but I knew he was in good hands. I mean, my mom and my dad are amazing. They weren't together, but like they co-parented me very well, so they co-parented him even better. My stepmom, everyone, my brother, my whole family was just simply amazing when it came to making sure that, you know, he was taken care of and that he didn't miss a beat when I moved here. So he went to a really great school. It was a school on campus called Willie Price. And when he moved here, they were really surprised at like his vocabulary, because it was a very enriching school.
Yeah.
So he was in good hands.
And then for you moving here after, so what? Your early 20s.
I was 22.
Your whole life in Mississippi, it's all you know. Coming to Vegas. I never been to Mississippi, but I've been to Houston, Dallas, kind of somewhat south. I think when you go from anywhere to Vegas, it's a shock of how different it is, culture-wise for sure, because there ain't that many black people how it is out there, especially community.
Yeah, so that was probably the biggest difference for me, because everyone's like, you're going to the big city, like what's going on? And I was like, it's really not that big. It's really not. I mean, at one point it was like 8 streets one direction, 12 streets in the other, like major streets. And so I learned to get around. My first coworker didn't drive the freeway, so I learned all the streets and how to get from point A to point B without getting on the freeway. So it wasn't hard to navigate. It really felt like a town. And so a lot of people think I'm from here, because they're like, how do you know everyone? Vegas was much smaller at the time.
Yeah.
So
And what prompted the move to Vegas?
So I was applying for jobs after college all over Tennessee, Georgia, the southern region, and no one would hire me. There's like, we like you, but you don't have enough experience. And had two friends that had moved here to work for Mercedes-Benz. And I was like, I'm gonna apply everywhere I know someone. And did a phone interview and got the job at Child Protective Services, and I was here.
Really? Are you still
Packed
friends
up.
with them?
Yes, they are my childhood friends.
Really?
Love them dearly.
They still live here?
They still live here. They have a auto mechanic shop called Twin Star Motors.
Okay, shout out Twin Star Motors.
Yes. So they are amazing, especially when it comes to Mercedes. So,
And what made you get into the work you do now? So you're a clinical social worker. What prompted you to get into that type of work?
so when I moved here, I was working, I told you, with Child Protective Services. I worked in the permanency unit with foster kids that are, hopefully going back home or looking for a permanent housing situation. And within the first 8 months of me moving here, I got fired.
Why?
My coworker hit me. Yes, he put his hands on me.
Oh,
And I responded because I was like, my dad doesn't even do that. I didn't get whoopings. And so
Yeah.
I responded. And because I was on probation, they let me go. But it was probably one of the best things that could have ever happened to me.
Okay, so what happened?
So we were talking about Lakers in Boston. Boston had just beat the Lakers. And I'm on the West Coast. And all of these people in this office are Lakers fans. And I'm like, go Boston. I was a Boston fan at the time. KG was there.
Yeah.
He's my favorite player. And he walks by and he like face mushes me. I wear glasses.
Oh,
And like knocks my glasses off. And I'm the youngest in the office. I'm also like very different from everyone else coming from the South. And they were like, oh, he didn't hit her. This didn't happen. And I'm an honest person too. So in my report, I wrote everything I said. And I said some things.
yeah. That prompted him to do that?
No.
Oh, after.
After, yeah. There were a lot of cuss words flying.
Yeah.
And from their investigation, they decided to let me go. Only to keep a cluster. Because he'd gotten arrested for a DUI after that. He pushed his pregnant girlfriend down the steps. And it used to be very embarrassing that happened to me, right? Especially being Southern and image is everything.
Yeah.
And later, as time goes on, I go back, I get my master's. I want to help kids on a deeper level because I'm just really corralling the situation, not the kids, not the parents, but the situation. And I wanted to do more. So I became a therapist because things like that, like losing my job was very detrimental to my mental health. Because I'm like, what is happening? So I can only imagine what it's like for these kids and these parents to be without each other.
Yeah. All right, hold up. So I want to, you kind of danced around it, but he mushed you. Then what happened? You said you hit him. So I didn't hear
pushed him. I pushed him back. I did him like that.
That's it?
That's it. But I mean, I was vocal. I was like,
oh, so you like turned up on him a little bit. Got a little loud.
I was
like,
loud
"Don't you
and I
ever
was
put your
yelling. I was
hands-
crying.
I'm from Oxford, Mississippi. We don't.
I was like, don't you put your hands on
Yeah.
me. Like, how dare you? And I probably called him some names
Yeah.
in between that. And
I'm not the one.
I am not the one.
Period.
I am not. And so everyone's report, I got word that everyone's report was different from my report. My report is the only one that says that, he did these things to me and, people that experience domestic violence and go through situations like that was my first experience with something like that. And someone to not believe you or other people to like lie.
Yeah.
Like, is this really happening? And I'm the smallest person in the office, the youngest person in the office, and you guys are not going to protect me? Okay, I got it. Needless to say, I have surpassed all of them at this point.
Wow. Good for you.
So,
Won't he do it?
amen.
Won't he will? Okay, so I understand that's why you went to Child Protective Service, but when you went into school initially to Ole Miss, what was your plan or idea of what you wanted to get into?
So my major was criminal justice. I wanted to go to law school, and I had family that worked in law enforcement and was like, okay, this is going to be my path, but my senior year, I realized I would like to go into marketing, but I was not going to redo school.
Yeah.
Wasn't going to happen. And when I got the job here, I just ended up not applying to law school. And the job that I had after CPS was working with a foster care agency. And that's when I decided to be the therapist. So I went back to school at UNLV, got my master's in social work, did my internship, and been a therapist since.
Now, with you being a therapist, I think some people based on previous guests I've had also, is us other people might look and think you're the one we go to for our problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle your issues?
So we have therapists too.
So you have your own.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to. I tell people all the time, we are the best secret keepers in the world, but that weighs on you. And so I need someone to talk to as well. So just like I'm going to tell you to go to therapy, I need to go to therapy too. We carry heavy stuff.
Yeah, you do. I can't imagine. I carry some stuff just from being a fitness coach and hearing stuff from people, and I don't mind it sometimes. Sometimes it's some good tea. My life's boring at times, so I'm like, okay, that's what you do, like dating life or anything. It gets very interesting. I love hearing people's stories, though. I'm a very curious person. I love hearing whatever they're willing to share.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if they want feedback. I don't mind giving that also. Not unsolicited, though, because I've gotten, not in trouble, but sometimes you overstep when you shouldn't. And some people just want to be heard. They don't want your advice.
Right. They just want
to
you to listen.
Off. Yeah. And now you work. Let's go back to your childhood.
Okay.
What was your life like growing up? Like, I know you said Mississippi was good and it was fun, but what was the family dynamic? What was going on there?
Okay. So my mom and my dad are divorced, but I am the youngest from both of them. They were both married previously. And so my sister's 20 years older than me. My brother's 13 years older than me. I'm the last grandchild.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a little spoiled.
A little.
Just a little. So it was good. Family is very important to me. We get together all the time. It was Friday nights are fish fries, or they're going to have card games. And my cousins are my siblings. Like, one of my cousins was just here, and you would think she's my sister.
Oh, wow.
So it was good. We would rollerblade across town and, get into trouble. We go swimming every Wednesday at 50 Cent Wednesdays at the pool.
50 Cent Wednesday at the pool. What's that?
Yeah, so the city pool, which was right up the street from my mom's house, every Wednesday you could get in for 50 cents. So
the South is different.
Yeah. I don't know if it's 50 cents anymore.
Yeah.
But at the time.
And you now you do work with Metro. Are you allowed to say?
I work in law enforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a therapist for
our law enforcement family, right?
Okay.
Like, so anyone within that arena that I provide services to. But I also still do my private practice.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just for Metro, and so you
No.
do both. Okay. How did you get into that?
I'm really big on program development, and I used to work at Intermountain, and I assisted them with
What's
development.
Intermountain?
Intermountain Health. So they are a healthcare system based out of Utah, that has now come here to Nevada. And so they provide primary care services, pediatrics, and they're building the first standalone children's hospital here in Nevada. So they wanted to integrate primary care they want to integrate behavioral health into primary care. And so in 2020, that's what I started doing. And we started building that program and what that looks like. So I work on integrating behavioral health into different settings.
And that led you to working for Metro?
Yeah. So we're integrating behavioral health into that setting.
I'm trying to think, like, how was it when you went from your private, did you already have a private practice?
Yeah, I've had a private practice since 2016.
So when you started working with law enforcement, was any of that shocking to you, of the things you were helping people with?
No, I mean, they're people, right?
Yeah.
And they experience the same thing that you and I experience.
To a certain degree. I'm not in the streets seeing homeless putting my life at danger, I guess I'll say.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's causing them issues. So, Some people could turn their jobs off and it doesn't affect them that way. Some people do, but they also have regular issues like you and I. So that's where we come into play.
Interesting. Because I would think some of the things they see, I mean, I can only imagine just shootings or, like I said, almost in a fight or flight mode at times, depending where you're at. And that's got to be hard.
It's difficult, but just like a doctor who's working on a patient's heart, it's difficult, right? It's a different fight or flight. So most of us operate in fight or flight all the time, but it's just a different fight or flight that you're operating in.
What do you mean by that?
So take you, for example, fight or flight, right? You work in fitness, you do all these things, you dealing with an injury, or you're doing something that might cause an injury, or you're working with someone and you're really trying to get them to that next level. Like, how do you do that? And you're like beating your head up against the wall. It may not be endangering your life, but it endangers your financial situation. So it's a different fight or flight. For me as a therapist, and I'm working with someone who may be struggling, with suicidal thoughts. That's a different fight or flight. When you're dealing with your own challenges at home, whether it's your relationship, whether it's financial, whatever that might be, it's a fight or flight.
Do you think that how you perceive it changes things?
Absolutely.
And I agree, because that's why I asked. But I know for me, even though I speak a lot on here, on my Instagram, I'm in groups of people all the time, I do group workouts all the time, I get somewhat nervous, or the feelings of nervousness every time.
Absolutely.
And I've done it thousands of times by this point in my life. But I heard a real good TED Talk years ago. Forgot the woman's name. And she expressed how to make stress your friend.
Mm-hmm.
And how your body doesn't necessarily know what exactly is happening, but it's going to release the same chemicals, whether you're fight or flight. So the chemicals to get you ready for, your body starts to get warm, palms get a little sweaty, the adrenaline gets going. And if you can shift your mind to, instead of like, oh my God, what's happening, to, oh, my body's preparing me to conquer something.
Stress and anxiety is a protector. It's not always there to harm you. Your body needs to be ready for what's going to happen. And so, like, when I used to run track, my coach was like, if you're not anxious, you're not ready. And so I would get these nerves every time before a race. And it's almost like making me sick. Or even before coming to talk to you, it was like, what am I going to say? Am I going to stutter? Am I going to stumble? Am I going to know what I'm talking about? You're ready. And so sometimes your bucket gets full and you get more than what you're asking for. And sometimes it's there to protect you from other things. But it's not always bad. So when it's protecting you from something, you have to pay attention to it. Have you seen Inside Out 2?
Is that the movie about the emotions?
Yes.
I've seen the first one, but no, I haven't seen the second one.
You need to see the second one. It explains the anxiety really well about what happens in the character, and it's trying to gain control, right? We all want to control our life, control our emotions. And so that's what anxiety is trying to do. But sometimes in trying to gain that control, it's like pushing other buttons on your keyboard. And so other sirens and things are going off. But it's not intentionally to hurt you or harm you.
Why do you think people feel the need to always want to control things? Based off your experience, I know you don't have the answer for everybody.
Yeah. People want to be able to navigate, right? Like I want to know what's going to happen to me. Because the fear of unknown, that's what drives us, right? Like that's what drives a lot of fear. And so if I can control this aspect, then that over there won't happen. But even if you control it, that still might happen. But we want that. It gives us a sense of security. And it puts us in that power play opposed to some outside factor or outside person. So that's what we do. We try to control. It makes us comfortable. It gives us that level of comfort that says, okay, well, if I control it, then this doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. But it doesn't really work that way. You can control it and those things can still happen. And so it's about, how do you manage those things that happen to you?
Are these things you've helped people with that come to you?
Mm-hmm.
What are some things people can do who know they have those control issues? I don't even call it an issue. It's not an issue, but they have that. What are things they can do to help scale that down a bit?
It's really working on trust. So that's what we work with a lot, is trusting. I was recently doing a summit and I wanted to control everything. And I had to say, I got to let this go because it was killing me, right? Like I wasn't getting sleep, all of these things. So when you can release control and trust the people that you're working with, especially if you're on a team, are they capable? Are they competent? Are they qualified? And if they are, allow them to do their job. Allow them to be in whatever position. And when I say job, I don't mean like physical job. Whatever position that is that they're playing. If they have all of those things, allow them to do it. Just because they don't do it the way that you do it doesn't mean that it doesn't get done. So allow them that time. But if you don't, you're going to drive yourself crazy. You're going to stress yourself out. Stress is also one of the things that causes illnesses. People talk about autoimmune diseases. We don't know why they happen, but we do know that stress plays a part. And so I had a friend that had Bell palsy. She was stressed to the max. Luckily, she was able to recover and gain the motion of her face again, but she's like, I never want to do that again. And so when she finds herself in stressful situations, she's like, I don't want to do this, or I'm going to allow this person to do it. I don't need to be in control that way. So giving up some of the control, allowing people to do what's in their wheelhouse. Sometimes it's not even within our wheelhouse, but we want to control it. You're the podcaster, but if I come in here wanting to control the narrative and how your show is going to go, it's going to be a struggle. Right?
Try it.
But if I just come in here and I release control and I just be a guest on your show and let you do what you're good at, it'll work out.
I have a friend. She has a podcast. Shout out to Wellness of Peace. Peace of Wellness. Sorry, Kirsten. Peace of Wellness podcast. She does a podcast here also, but she's a friend I met maybe 3 years ago now. She was an occupational therapist, and then I was like a business coach about leadership. And I remember meeting with her one time after, it was 2 years ago now, because I remember it was after a breast cancer event. And I was expressing to her, she kind of knew a bit of my story, and I was expressing to her how I sometimes have control issues with controlling things. And she was like, oh yeah, I know. But she didn't know me that well. And I looked at her, I was like, what you mean you know? And she said, well, based off what you told me about your life, things were always chaos. Mm-hmm. So you feel more comfortable with control, which is true. Like growing up, there was a portion of my younger years where we were homeless and we were living in and out of motels. So pretty much throughout my childhood, living out of a duffel bag, because any given moment we had to switch motels. Nothing was for certain. So now as an adult, it's gotten better now, but as an adult, I don't like not knowing or not being in control. And I'm okay sometimes, how you said earlier, allowing people to do their job. It's been a struggle. I've gotten better.
How was Gateway for you then?
What do you mean?
We didn't have a lot of control.
With those situations, I kind of, with the whole SimSock thing, and I was able to sit back and just, cause I knew it was a game.
But like not having our phones.
Oh, I love that part because I was able to disconnect. As something I've been working on for a while is not being on my phone, or if I'm on my phone, be productive. Sometimes it's just a creature of habit of wanting to check social media. There's been times where I've closed all my apps, put my phone in my pocket, a minute or two later, go and open back. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Nobody's hitting me up. Nobody, like it's not dire. And yeah, so control in that situation, it was easy. And that might be, honestly, you bring that up now, and that's me realize I've gotten better with it. Because there was points in life where I just, oh man, it gets me. And I've gotten better at it, especially with time. Time pisses me off.
Like
But
how? Like what?
like being late or anything, it gives me anxiety.
Okay.
I'd rather be an hour early or something like that. And I have had my moments where I push the needle sometimes, like, okay, I'm on time. But even I prefer to be earlier
Okay.
just to be safe. And can't control that.
So what helped you get through? And I'm sorry that I'm asking these questions.
No,
That's
come
just what I
on,
naturally
bring
do.
it.
Like what helped you get to that point where you're like, okay, like let me work on releasing some of this control. Like what helped you get through that?
I would say her bringing that up helped to bring it to the front lobe of me so I could be aware of it. And then just started working on it, just talking to myself. To me, I think self-talk is something that I used to be like, what the hell? I'm not talking to myself. That's weird. But for me, it helps me remember certain things and get through situations. Just reminding myself it's okay to delegate. It's okay to allow others to help. It's okay to not be in control of everything. And I think also part of it comes from when I would be blackout drunk
Mm,
and you're not in control.
at
And then what
all.
happened to me, boom, I fell out a 4-story window and almost died. So that also plays into part of me fear of not having control of things.
Mm-hmm.
If that answers it, hopefully.
It does. And so how does that work into your personal relationships? Friends, family?
I try to think of life and people that they're doing what they're doing out of their best interest and nothing I can do about it.
Okay.
So I always try to show up how I show up regardless of how they want to act or not act based off my values, my morals, and how I move as a person. For example, you know how you can probably be there for somebody, show up for them, and they do some shit that makes you mad. And you're like, okay, I'm never doing that again. Or I don't even move that way anymore. That gives them the control.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
So, and that's the thing. That's what I wanted to like hear from you is that like
Oh,
allowing others to control you. A lot of times I use the example of like road rage and things like that.
oh,
People are like, oh my God. And it messes up their whole day. And it's like, are you going to let that person control you? They've gone on with their day. They're having a good day and you're still mad about something happened at 7 a.m. and it's 5 p.m. Same thing happens in personal relationships, right? Whether it's your coworker, whether it's your family member, your significant other, they do something and it controls how you respond and how you act or move through life. Like you have to take control back at some point and not let others control you. So control is a balance. It's a give and take. Sometimes others need to be in control and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you need to gain control. And so how others make us feel and how we react sometimes depends on who has control. Is it them or is it you?
now that I think about it, I'll tell you what also helped me, or who, surprisingly, not only surprisingly, Mike Tyson.
Okay.
Maybe it was 2 years ago. He was on his podcast, and a gentleman on there expressed how if somebody does him wrong, he's not messing with them anymore. You know, he's cutting them off, never talking to them. And Mike Tyson let him know, he's like, when you do that, that person's now your master, because now that person's controlling how you move and how you decide to respond. And when I heard that, I'm like, it's so true. Like, I'm not going to allow how people treat me or do me and then switch how I am as a person or how I move. There's people who done some things that I'm not fond of, and if I see him, it's all love. I'll still help you if I can. You chose to do what you did because it was for your best interest. I get it. I don't move that way,
Yeah.
but I can't shame you for it. Maybe I could. Maybe I should shame them for it. I don't know.
Well, I think for me with controlling people when they do things to you, because I've had a friend or who I called a friend, you know, I was there and I helped, but then when they were good, it's like, no, I don't deal with you like that. I keep my distance.
Mm.
No, they don't stop me from where I go and what I do, but I do choose not to deal with them anymore for those reasons. I can love you from afar.
I agree with that. I like that because I've done that similarly, especially as I've grown as a person and went sober, I like to say there's certain people who don't hold the same amount of space into my life anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm still cool. We can still do things to a certain degree. And I have you over here. Like, I got to keep this space open for new energy, new people who are more in line with who I want to be and what I want to do. Not saying I hate you or you're not close to me anymore. It's just there's a certain level mentally, emotionally I don't hold for you anymore.
Yeah, I say it all the time. I heard from my pastor in church growing up. I must have been in college because I went to the same church, because I went to school. Ole Miss is in Oxford. And he did these series, and one of them was Season, a Reason, a Lifetime. People come into your life for a season, a reason, and a lifetime. Not everybody is meant to stay. And sometimes they jump in and out of each bucket.
Ooh.
And it's up for you to decipher and determine where they are. Right? Just because you're in my life right now, you may be here for a reason, and then that reason is gone and you're out. But then maybe they're coming back for a quick season. And that confuses people sometimes. It's like, well, they did this, and it's like they're not meant to be in your life for a lifetime. They were there for a reason or a season. Not everybody is meant to go with you the whole distance. So I try to look at my friendships and relationships like that.
I was thinking back to Gateway. One thing I realize what I do in situations like that sometimes is I allow myself to not be in control. Because it's easy. I have no problem being a leader and taking the way, but sometimes I'm like, you know what, let me just see how others are going to maneuver and react and respond. I've been through too much already chaos to where that, like I said, it was just a game to me. It was almost, I know it's simulating life, but it's life I'm used to and I know of. So it wasn't like too shocking to me, some of the things. And that's why I just sat back. I sat back and I was like, let me allow these people to, and I'm part of it was I didn't read the book. So I didn't know how to do things. So, and luckily for us, we were both blue.
Yeah, we were blue
both
goats.
We're
blue goats.
We were both in the same crew, which was kind of cool. And we were on lockdown together.
Yep.
Quarantine. I know the
2020 all over again.
Audience might not know what we're talking about. Can't talk about. It's classified. It's like the Fight Club.
Yeah.
Some people know, some people don't.
If you know, you know.
That's it. It was a great experience. How's the leadership been for you so far?
It has been awesome. I feel like I've known you guys forever. And we're in our fourth week.
Yeah, only a month.
Yeah. And I can't tell you what anybody does, but I know people's relationships and kids. I love it. I think it has been amazing. I haven't gotten to do as many homeworks as I wanted to.
Yeah.
And that's just because I was recovering and my mom is here. But I love the enthusiasm and how we're all from these different backgrounds and different walks of life and different professions. And you would not know. And we're intentional about spending time together.
Yeah.
We're like, oh no, I have to do this, or I'm going here. So I'm excited that I'm getting, you're my first technical one-on-one.
Yeah. It's a one-on-one low key.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
And then I'll post it in the Discord. They're all going to know your life now.
Well, two of them already do know my life.
Who?
My life journey group.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I forgot about that life journey. So with what you do for the Metro and your own practice, what's your overall goal of where you want that to go?
I tell people all the time, I never know what I want to be when I grow up. I am not sure. We'll see where it takes me. I mean, I've worked throughout the whole valley. I've worked in just about every discipline of social work. We'll see where it goes. I have no set goal on where I'm going, but whatever I do, I'm going to give it my all no matter where I'm at. See where it takes me.
Something you shared is that you lost a close family member to suicide.
Yes.
Can you touch on that a little bit?
Absolutely. After COVID, a lot of people are struggling. And not that COVID was part of her. I don't even know. I can't even say what that is, I came home I went to Mississippi for a wedding and came home and got a text message that this family member had died by suicide. And I was like, I was on the 15. I know exactly where I was. I think I almost came to a dead stop reading the message. And it was a real, hopefully I could say this and be okay, it was a real mind fuck, right? Like, I'm a whole therapist. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm trained. I have experience behind me. I help people. I help people, see life and live life. But yet, someone, who had been in my household, I couldn't help. And so it really, really bothered me. And I'd say my advocacy found me because I didn't know that suicide was going to be something that I was advocating for. And when I was telling you about it, I went back to work. I didn't take much time off work. I was just kind of moving through life, right? Like most people, you put things behind you, and it was a news interview and they wanted someone to talk about suicide. In my team, nobody volunteered. I told my boss, because he asked me first. I was like, nope, too soon. And
Did they know?
yes, they knew.
Okay.
And he said, I understand. I said, but if nobody volunteers, I'll do it. And that's how it started. And it just started rolling from there, from a news interview to doing a panel for the Raiders to working with the defensive line and working, with the Hope Squads in the high schools. They train kids to be peer counselors to help, identify and give kids somewhere to talk, and that they can help them get to the help that they need, help them get to an identified adult. And it's something I still struggle with. How is it that I do this and have people tell me all these great things, and yet I feel that I failed there?
When you found out your family member committed suicide and being a therapist, did you feel a sense of guilt?
Yeah. Guilt, hurt, shame, all of the feelings. Like, how can I help someone when I can't help my own family? Like, how? And then I get upset at the other professionals because I was like, she was here. Like, you didn't help her. You didn't see. We know that one of the highest times for suicide is right after a hospital discharge. And I was mad at the system that they didn't help. And it's like, I work in the system. And so I see how families are frustrated when they're trying to get their family help, whether it's mental health, whether it's addiction, like whatever it is, like healthcare. I can see how they're frustrated. I can see how they show up and they have attitudes. Because I advocated. I did what we were supposed to do. I told her mom every avenue to go down, and yet and still nothing. Wasn't enough. But yet just a year prior to that, I got an email at work and they were praising me for the work I did. A client emailed in and said, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here today. So you hear that on one hand, and on the other hand, you lose someone. But in this process, it helped me understand more and more that dying by suicide is not about me. It's not about you. It's about them.
Is the shame and guilt something you still deal with now, or have you been able to work through that?
I've been working through it. What really helped, honestly, is talking to Chris Thomas at the defensive line. They lost their daughter Ella to suicide, or not lost to suicide. She died by suicide. And as a parent, I can't even imagine what that must have been like, but they took that opportunity to start an organization and keep her name alive and really advocate, especially for Black and brown communities, that suicide happens in our communities. It's real. And you can't just pray about it. You have to work through it. You have to get help. So that's what really helped me. If these parents can talk about it, surely I could talk about it. So we'll see. I guess you asked me what are my goals eventually. I'd like.
That don't even matter no more.
Yeah, eventually one of my
it
goals.
does matter, but this right here is important.
Well, one of my goals eventually is to start a foundation to help bring awareness to suicide. It's one of the preventable deaths. We could prevent death by suicide.
Can we?
Yes. We can get those people that help and help them see what it is that they need. And it's the right help, right? Not every therapist is meant for you. You don't make that connection with everybody. So if we got to go through 20 to save your life, let's do it. But we need access to healthcare. We need access to therapists. That's also part of the problem.
How or what do you think, or why do you think there's people in the Black and brown communities and they don't speak up on these things?
Guilt and shame, history, right? Nobody wants to be labeled as crazy. Nobody wants to be perceived as something is wrong with them. Did you just recently see the interview with Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club with Gucci Mane and Keisha Kaur?
I saw clips of it where he's dealing with schizophrenia.
He's dealing with schizophrenia, and she's talking about helping. I think that's powerful, right? Like, you have this rap icon that people look up to, and he's struggling with his mental health. But there were people around him that knew something was wrong, but they wouldn't get him help. If you know somebody is struggling, try to get them help. Now, it's not always received, but at least try.
Yeah, it's tricky because it's almost you almost don't know how to approach it. Because I can imagine somebody with his stature, he's probably taking care of the people, his team and those around him. There might be fearful, like, if I speak up on this and say, "Hey, man, something's off."
It's gonna stop my gravy.
He might snap back, might cut him off. So they'd rather just stay quiet, let him suffer. It's so weird because you don't know. You might speak up and he might be receptive.
Absolutely.
And not just speaking about Gucci, I'm talking about people in general.
In general, right?
Like the person and me, I've gotten to a point, I know it ain't about me, but I've gotten to a point where I don't care anymore. Like, if you're somebody I care about, I'm going to tell you need to get in the gym, or I'm going to tell you need to go see somebody, or I don't mind being the bad person in that way. I kind of think sometimes people need to think about who the person is that's saying it to you.
It costs you nothing to ask someone if they're okay. It costs you absolutely nothing.
People aren't always going to be honest. They're going to tell you what's going to keep you away as opposed to getting exposed to their true struggle.
And that's where you have to be honest with them. It's like, no, he was giving jewelry away, $100,000 necklaces. That's not normal. Yo, bro, you're okay.
But those people probably, hey, it's
and
a come
that's
up.
why you need a good circle around you. You don't need just yes men. You need people that's going to tell you no. People who are going to tell you you're messing up. Like, get it together. People that want to see you win. Because if I want to see you win, and I'm going to do all that I can to help you win, that means I'm going to keep winning. But if you fall, okay, you gave me that necklace that one time, then what? Then what?
So what do you think it is people can do or should do, should, to get out of that shame and guilt of wanting to speak out? How can they get out of that?
It's not so much about them getting out of it as opposed to the people that are receiving it, right? The public is the one who's giving the shame and the guilt. Like, that's who's putting it out there. And so when someone tells their story, receive it, accept it. How can you get them help? Don't make them feel bad about it. Because at the rate things are going, everybody is struggling. And mental health is something we all deal with, every person in America at some level. It may not be to the level of schizophrenia, right? But everybody experiences anxiety and depression to some level. If they don't, let me know who they are. And it may be not to the level of you have the little cloud over your head, like the little Zoloft egg, but you experience it to some level. And to make someone else feel bad about what they're experiencing, all because you want to ride their coattail. Like, dang, seriously? You want to let me suffer so that you can eat? But you were going to eat anyway. If I'm good, you're going to eat. But if I'm gone, you're going to find somebody else to eat off of. So why not help me and continue to eat?
There's a real good quote that Tasha said. I don't think she meant for it to be a quote, but she said it. She said, I can't keep lighting myself on fire to keep you warm.
At all.
Woo! I was like, man.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to pull it from yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do? I cannot. I cannot. Like she said, light myself on fire to keep you warm. 'Cause you don't get it. You're not willing to do the work. People got to be okay with walking away too. Because sometimes you're going to try to help someone, right? It's your cousin, it's your friend, and they don't want to. Because you have to want to change, to want to do better.
Was there anything significant that happened in your life that triggered you, like, this is it, I need to start changing?
I think for the most part, I've always been who I am. I've always been a helping person. I can remember as a kid, like all the kids want to come to my house and play with my toys, and then they tear my toys up, and then I'm looking sad. And my mom's like, you do this every time. When are you going to learn? But I give you the clothes off my back every time. But eventually, you know what? I got to look out for me because you don't want it. Now, if you want it, I'll do all that I can to help you.
Mm. When you look back on all these situations of life that you overcome, growing up as the youngest, that comes with some type of charm, I'm sure. Having a kid young, leaving your hometown, coming here, losing your close relative to suicide, getting fired right when you thought you were about to be young, hot little thing in the office.
Right.
With all that, when you look back, what do you think was either like a low moment, breaking point, or rock bottom for you?
I don't think that I have like a rock bottom. Bad things happen. Bad things happen to good people. It's about how you deal with them. And so, yeah, I've had some tough moments. Like having my son at 17 shifted my mind. I was like, I'm never going to be a negative statistic again. Bought my house
Ooh, I
before
like that.
my house before 25. I got my master's. I'm at LCSW. I have all of these things. Like I was like, never going to happen again. But life is going to keep happening to me. And other things have happened along the way. And one of the things, I was going through something and I was like harping on it. When I go through things, I want to talk to my family. I want to talk to my mom. I want to talk to my brother. I want to talk to my cousin. And my brother said to me one day, he was like, he calls me girly. He's like, girly, like, didn't this thing over here a couple months ago, wasn't that the worst moment of your life? And I was like, yeah, it was, but. And he was like, but did you survive? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, so you're going to survive this one too. And look at all the other worst things that have happened to you in your life. He was like, when you had Ty, was that the worst thing that happened to you in your life? You realized you were pregnant at 17? I was like, yeah. He goes, but is it also one of the best things that happened to you in your life? And I was like, well, yeah. And he's like, this will work itself out too. It's not the end. And what I realized is that there's almost anything in this world can be fixed. Almost anything in the world can be fixed. So it's not the end of the world. But you got to decide if you're going to get up and keep going. Are you going to reach out for help? Are you going to accept the help that's been given to you? And so out of all those things, you know, like, yeah, they were bad. They were difficult, but they helped shape me to who I am. They helped drive me. And if I give up now, then what was it all for? Just like you went through that period of your life and yeah, it was bad. It was not a good time, but you're here. You survived that worst moment of your life. And have you had other worst moments since then? Where you felt like, oh my God, this is it? Maybe, maybe not. But if you keep living, you will. And if you can survive that period, then you'll survive the next one too. So my thing is, you know, you got to keep fighting. You got to keep going. Like I'm tough. I'm always usually the smallest person in the group, but you will not knock me down. It's not going to happen. I think I beat myself up more than I let somebody else.
Are there any podcasts, books, or people that helped you continue to push forward?
Podcasts or books?
Anything. It could be anything. A person.
I mean, honestly, talking to my family, my brother is like one of my best friends, and we're 13 years apart. You know, he was going to college, I was going to kindergarten. But the knowledge that he has and the perspective is so deep sometimes. And I appreciate that. I try to keep people around me who are going to be honest with me, even when it hurts my feelings. That helps. I get overwhelmed sometimes and I feel like the world is going to end. But I need that person that's going to tell me to calm down. There usually is a couple other words in there.
Yeah.
Before the calm down.
Yeah.
But I need that. I need somebody who's going to be honest with me. I'm not always right. I don't always have the best idea. But if you're in my life, and I feel like everybody in Gateway is someone that I could go to about whatever, and they're going to keep it real with me. That's what I need. I say build your team, people that you trust. So.
That's beautiful. I don't know if you could top that, but we're going to wrap up here in a second. Is there a quote you live by and why?
Life is going to happen to you. It's about what you do with it when it happens. We can't control that. Again, good things happen to bad people. Bad things happen to good people. What are you going to do with it? Can't control it. Life is going to happen. What are you going to do when it happens to you? Stare down.
I was going to see how long I could get you not to blink. That was beautiful. I love it. And a question just came to mind now. The final question. What does success look like to you? What does that mean to you, success?
Yeah, success is, I'm an overachiever, so success is hard. Like when I reach whatever I think that goal is, I'm looking at the next one. And so I don't know what that is for me because I'm always looking for like my next goal.
So reaching your goals is a success to you?
Yes, but I'm looking for the next one after that.
What does it mean if you don't reach those goals?
They're not failures. They're lessons. You know, I had a business, right? We closed after COVID. That was a success. I opened up a store in Town Square. I'm doing my thing. COVID happens. Boom. We close. It was a success, but there were also a lot of learning lessons. So if I don't reach the goal, it's a lesson learned, not a failure.
I love it. I appreciate you, Tish.
Thank you for having
coming
me.
on, sharing a bit of who you are, what you do, who you help. It's very important that we hear people's stories outside of Tish, the LCSW for Metro. Like there's more to you. There's more things that got you to this point you're at in life. I'm glad we were in the same leadership program, GOATs. This is kind of our one-on-one. We can have another one.
Yeah, we'll have another one.
Any lasting words for the audience? If you do, the camera's there.
It costs nothing to ask somebody for help. Like, ask them if they're okay. Contact me. Let's get them a resource. But there's help out there for you. So reach out. Ask for help. It's there.
Thank you again. I appreciate you all tuning in today. You know I got to leave you with a word. Healing doesn't always look like peace. Sometimes healing looks like just showing up again and again. You don't need to have it all together to continue to grow. You just got to wake up and choose to survive another day, one foot in front of the other. 2 words, keep growing. Blue Goats.